Hey there, Papa's projects and Papa's thought followers. Today we're going to be changing the oil on a Kubota Z421 60-inch mower. Now I'd like to tell you it's my favorite tool in the shop, but I never get to use it because Kathy's always the one wanting to do the mowing. But hey, it's time to change the oil. And like James Woosley said, he said, you know, we aren't addicted to oil, but our cars certainly are. The point being is that you gotta keep the oil fresh in order to keep the car running well. And so for Papa's thought, I wanted to let you know that in life, we've got to make sure and do maintenance in our marriages, in our relationships, whether it's with our friends, our kids, our coworkers. You can't just interact in the daily grind without doing something to refresh the friendship, if you will. I don't know what that looks like for you. Maybe it's lunch. Maybe it's instead of talking about work with a friend, talk about life with a friend. Whatever it is, I know for my wife and I, it's just simple date nights that have always been important to us, even when it was 4 kids running the roads, pastoring a church, and owning my own company as well. And all that at one time, we just managed to maintain changing the oil, if you will, in our marriage by having date nights. But for today, our Kubota is needing an oil change. So we're going to take a look at that here in a second, and it's pretty simple, but I just want to make sure that you guys got a good little Papa's thought to go with the Papa's project. Now, it's very important, I think, because we spent so much money on this beast, to make sure that we use products that are geared for it. So our local Kubota guys over at Tag Equipment in Chattanooga, that's who we use, they recommend this Kawasaki motor oil as well as the actual Kubota OEM filter. So for the few pennies you might save on an aftermarket, it's not worth it. Just use what they recommend so that you make sure you have a good quality product in your mower. So let's get to it and change the oil in this baby.
Okay, so let's first get to where everything is. This is the filter right here, which is very much like an automotive filter. And if you'll look down, just follow the stick right there. That is a nut or a bolt that we're going to turn, which will allow the oil to drip out. It's kind of hard to see, but it'll drip right out this hole right here. It's got a side opening on it, so when I open this nut, it'll drain out the side, and I'll put my oil pan right below there. So to get an idea, it's on this side of the mower, right rear. And so let's get set up and drain the oil out of it. Okay, so we're gonna reach down in here and open this. It is a 10 millimeter if you're gonna use a socket. You can also use a screwdriver, flathead. If you're using a wrench or a socket, it's a 10. And it's not very tight. It's just a plastic part, but I don't have good finger grip right now, so I'm just going to use this 10 to get it started. And I may actually have to switch to a screwdriver. Let's see. That's working. But as it starts to open up more, the oil will start coming out the side. There we go, it's getting looser. There it goes. I'm not sure if you can see that dripping. So now I'm going to open this top to allow the vacuum to release, so it will drain out a little bit faster. There you go. Now I'll just let that drain out. And then we'll take the filter off. All right, it's all drained out, so I like to take a shop rag and reach in here, clean up all the excess oil that's dripped. I just don't like to have the oil on there. And so that's pretty much. And so it's time to put things back, and you'll notice I try to buy the parts that are recommended by my Kubota dealer, in this case Tag Equipment in Chattanooga. And so this is a Kawasaki filter, and it is part number, what's that say? part number 49065-7007, and it matches identical to the one that I've taken off. Now, it's important that you take a little bit of oil and you rub it on this this seal. You should do this when you're changing your any oil filter. Put a little bit of oil on there. It helps it to seat just a little bit better. So just reach down in the hole down here and line it up. It's a fine thread. You don't want to cross thread it, but it'll go on. Once it starts turning, it'll go pretty easy. You see now I'm just able to spin it very easily. Now, the way this works is it's what they call contact plus, and in this one the manual says 3/4 of a turn. So I've put the lettering is horizontal, and so I'm now going to turn it 3/4 of a turn from contact, and then I'm going to let it sit for a minute. After you let it sit for a minute or two, that seal will kind of squish a little bit. Then you can tighten it up, and typically it's that next 3/4, final 3/4 should do it. So I'm going to go ahead and reach in there and do that. I don't know if you can see. Well, you can't really see. I'm going to have to let go of this so I can get to it. All right, so we want to check it and see where it's at. Now, like any engine, you don't actually screw the cap on. You just push it down before you screw it. That's what you want to check. And then pull it out. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's right at the full mark now. So it's a little above the full mark, but that should get pulled in to the filter and such. So we'll go ahead and clean everything up, start it, and let it run. All right, let's take it out. See how we did. Got that off really good. Again, just touch it, pull it out, and I'm right at the full mark. So, perfect. So that's it. That's how you change the oil on a Kubota Z421. This is Papa's Projects, and I'm Papa. And you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.